Hey guys, Zero here again. I got another review. This review is almost 20 years old, or 20 years due, however you want to look at it. But I'm going to take a good look. We're going to take a look at my Team Associated RC10T. Some will call this vintage now, obviously, because there's so many new variations or iterations of this truck, the stadium truck. But I kind of just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on, you know, where I got it, how I got it, and when, you know, what I did with it. This is the original body, original paint, original tires. I've had to replace some stuff due to a unfortunate thing that I'll go over when I'm doing the review. But so far, she's taken a beating and kept on going. So, you know, she's got some life in her still. So I'm gonna probably run her a little bit more, and then get a new body, clean it up, and shelf it. But yeah, look at that, how smooth that is with new bearings. That wheel don't even make any noise. It's just smooth, you know. But it's, what do you expect? It's Team Associated. It was their racing truck at one point. You know, it was pretty expensive back in the day. You know, almost $500 for a truck like this back in the 90s was a lot of money. You know, but it was a premier race truck. It won 3 championships, and I felt like I wanted something high quality and high end. Not quality, but, you know, tier 1 racing spec. You know, I didn't do a lot of races, but it paid off, because this thing has withstood the test of time and abuse from me. So, all right, we'll get this over to the table, and you guys can take a look at the inside and, you know, listen to me ramble on. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, guys, let's go on ahead and take a look at this old Yeller here. You can see this is the original paint I had on it. I tried to go for like an explosion of color type thing. You know, this is back in the early 90s, you know, or mid 90s rather, sorry, that I picked this up. You know, I wanted something new. I wanted something race ready, and something, you know, something that had a great reputation. And this trucky stadium truck, that's what they called them, you know, had won like 3 championships in a row for 3 years straight. So I was like, wow, it's a pretty good car, you know. And I know Associated was always like at the top of the list when it came to wins. You know, Schumacher, Associated, Low C, you know, there were some great cars out there. And I don't know what it was. Honestly, I'm not a fan of stadium trucks, but, you know, I picked it up anyway. Now, what's funny is, this is actually built on the same chassis that the original RC10 was built on, which is what I really wanted. At the time, they weren't available. This had come out. I think the gold pan was available, but the gold pan was so expensive. This was just a couple $100 cheaper, you know, minus radio and receiver and all the electronics, because it doesn't come with anything except for the kit and the gearbox. You know, so you have to source out everything else. Excuse me. Now, this thing's been through some shit. You know, I've raced it on a track, in races. I've actually come in pretty close. I'm not a great driver by any means. I've done like 2nd and 3rd place in a couple races, and I chalk it up to the car, because these stadium trucks with their long arms and their wide front tires make for great turning. You know what I'm saying? So being able to turn quick and come out of a turn quick was crucial at some of these races. So at least from my perspective, I don't, you know, I'm not a professional by any means. This is the original body. You know, you could see how bad I did on the paint up close. You know, it's flaking off here in the quarters. You know, I'm actually looking for another body. I found one online. I'm probably gonna pick it up just to paint it, and because she's gonna become a shelf queen. I mean, actually, she's gonna run some more. I've been running her on and off. I've broken some parts, you know, and it's kind of getting harder to source the parts for this car, simply because of the newest versions being out. You can see, like, I didn't even undercoat this body. I just sprayed it as it was. I should probably undercoat it though. Let me see through it, but yeah, it's not a bad body. I think it's like a Chevy body or something. But I did have a Novak speed control. I had a special motor in there, you know, and you know, there was a bunch of cool stuff. So put the body over here. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think it's based on the RC10. I think it's the same chassis, just modified for the arms and the body mounts and stuff like that. I actually broke my original body mounts, so I put in some old school work, just got some plastic tubing, cut some holes, put that in there, you know. It's got the stealth transmission from Team Associated, and a slipper clutch, which actually is phenomenal. There's a couple carbon fiber pieces. I've got a Trinity Monster Mash motor in there, back, you know, from way back when I had a Tamiya, Mud Blaster, Tamiya Mud Blaster. I used it in there because I did the Clodbuster tire mods on the Mud Blaster, and the motor wasn't strong enough to push it, so I got the Trinity because it was like a monster truck motor, 4-wheel drive motor, and it worked great. I threw it in this thing, and this thing rips. Every time you hit something at full speed, it's going to break. Something's going to break. And I've done my share of braking. So a little bit of history about this car. I picked it up, you know, I took my time building it, you know, you can see it's all cruddy, you know, from running. I actually just ran it not too long ago, I think last year, and I broke I broke the arm, lost the C-clips and the pins for the hub, but I replaced them and I got it working again. It's running good. But like my Tamiya TL01, my original Tamiya TL01 Lancer Evolution, if you watch that, I'll put the link to the video I made for that in the description below. It got caught in a flood. It was at my buddy's house, and his basement flooded, and this was actually in a cardboard box, you know, because I had just, we were going to restore them and then race them again and stuff like that, but we just hadn't gotten to it. So it got caught in the flood. So I don't know if you can see, but those arms are completely rusted out. The shocks were completely rusted out. The tub had some rust. It's aluminum tub, but some of the screws leaked onto the tub, so it rusted a little bit. I got that cleaned up. Most of the gear, everything, I got the gearbox cleaned up, re-greased. Motor's working great. You know, I put new shocks on. You know, they actually work really nice. They've got these tension springs, these little stiffer springs, so it's kind of, you know, it's bouncy still, you know, so it's still going to do its thing, but it's not going to bottom out like it used to. So yeah, I just, you know, took it apart, tried to get it back together, and, you know, run it around. You know, I got the new arm and C-clips and stuff on there, so I'm going to use this, I think, to get my wife wants to try the RC hobby. She wants to get into it, you know, race around with me and my son. And the weather's great right now, so we're going to try and get out. I'm going to try and get out there. But it's the original RC10T, see? RC10T. But yeah, I think I'm going to let her run this because I believe that these stadium trucks are great learning, like, beginner cars. You know, yes, this is a Team Associated. Yes, it's got carbon fiber and, you know, fiberglass parts and super hopped up motor and gearbox, but I still think, given the proper space to play, she could learn a lot with this because it's very forgiving. The front tires being so big gives it a very good handling, you know, especially on loose dirt, sand, gravel even, you know, and the wide stance of it gives it so much more, you know, maneuverability, flexibility, stuff like that. So I think I'm going to let her give it a shot, and if she does like it, I'm going to, if she likes it, I think I'm going to get her a something else. Maybe like a Rustler, a Traxxas Rustler, or maybe even something from Tamiya, you know, because I like building the Tamiyas, and, you know, she doesn't care either way. She doesn't want to build. So for me, it's like either ready to run for her or just get a Tamiya and then build it myself and then let her run that, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see what I can do. You know, she's definitely going to get into it. Oh, I also had to replace the ball bearings. All the ball bearings had to be replaced because they were the metal with the rubber, and the rubber just got really nasty and corroded. I had to modify the battery case. You see that there, a little cut in there? I had to use a heat tool to cut that out because it's that fiber glass stuff. Just so that when the battery sat in there, the wires could come up, because when you put it in originally, it wouldn't, you know, they had this slot here, or actually no, I did this slot too. I did this one in case I put the battery backwards. See here? But yeah, they didn't, the way the battery case was, you couldn't, you know, it would be super tight for a 7.2. And now I use a LiPo, but, you know, I had to do that back in the day. But so far, this truck, Truggy, stadium truck, whatever, has been pretty phenomenal. It's been, you know, it's stood the test of time. It stood a flood, you know, and most of you guys know who run RCs, man, you get flooded. Yeah, see, even the back arms are rusted a bit, you know. But you guys know, you get flooded, man, these cars get ruined. I had to change the speed control, or the receiver. I had a Novak speed control in here, but I'm probably gonna, if I can't get the Novak to work because it's old and it did get flooded, I will get a new one. You know, just a regular speed control, something that'll handle this motor here. But yeah, I think, like I said, it was a great car. I felt like it was a bit fragile for its price cost, right? Like, I mean, and it's not the car's fault, actually. It's not at all, not Team Associated. They built a great car. This car still kicks ass. My point is that for me, as a basher, mainly I raced on tracks, but very, very, you know, infrequent. As a basher, this is not the greatest, especially if you don't have a lot of space. If you've got space to run, like a baseball diamond or a park with a lot of open gravel or sand, yeah, man, run it. It's going to be awesome, you know. But if you don't, and you got to fiddle with the street, like if you're on the street in front of your house, whatever, I don't think this is a good car. That's where I smashed up the arms and stuff, because there's just not a lot of room to really run the car. You know, there's not a lot of room to give it its legs, to let its legs loose, you know. But if you got the space, it's a great car. I just think it's a bit fragile, you know, and then these parts are hard to come by now. So obviously I can't, you know, keep sourcing parts. And I don't know how compatible it is with all the BT8s or whatever the new truck is for Associated. So it's kind of like, oh, I took it to a shop once and they were like, oh man, you got to replace that arm. You should just buy a new truck, dude. You probably have better luck. And I was like, no, motherfucker. No, this fucking truck was like almost $500. Some bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not helpful, you know? So I found the parts myself eventually and I got them fixed. But yeah, it's hard to source. So I'm going to let her learn on this car. And then I'm going to shelf it, you know, put her up, probably get the new body, paint it up and get it nice and clean and put up. And then we'll get her something else if she wants another stadium truck, or if she wants like a Traxxas Slash or something, because I think I want to get a Traxxas Slash just to fucking bash her so I can actually beat the hell out of it and not feel bad, you know. But that's my Team Associated RC10T team truck. It has been through hell, but it has come out the other side. It's still awesome. I still like running it. I still will probably until I shelf it. The wife's gonna run it. And if you have one, don't get rid of it. Keep it. I may, if anybody's interested, I will do a straight up trade for the RC10, the original RC10 or the Gold Pan. I will do a straight up trade if somebody's interested in this. I'll even give you the new body. I'll paint it up or whatever, give you a clear, whatever. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I love this truck, but I've wanted the buggy more and always, you know, like it's just one of those things you just want, you just never got. But if anybody's got one and they want to switch it up a little bit, hit me up in the comments, let me know. We'll work something out, and you know, we'll swap them out, and I'll have a new toy, you'll have a new toy. So just let me know. Alright guys, again, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. If you have any friends that are into some of my hobbies like RC cars, Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, miniature board games, tabletop games, role-playing games, airsoft, Star Wars collectibles, die-cast collectibles, whatever you guys are into, man. If there's someone out there you know is interested, share it with them. Let them know I'm out there. You know, just maybe I can help. Maybe I can give some advice. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.